I'm Christine Grimard and welcome to this week's episode of Crossing Vietnam. Today we are on our way to Hoa Binh province. We are escaping the city of Hanoi to Hoa Binh, which translates into peaceful province. But we got a lot of fun stuff in store for us, so I hope you'll come along.
At just 63 kilometers from Hanoi, Hoa Binh province is an easy 1-hour drive. Thanks to strong development of the waterway, it's possible to get to Hoa Binh both by car and by boat. The drive to Hoa Binh from Hanoi shows the landscape grow increasingly hilly as the terrain turns into high mountains, keeping the area rather temperate in the summertime, with an average temperature of around 23 Celsius. Famous for its ancient civilizations, Hoa Binh is home to many ethnic minority groups, including Hmong, Thai, King, Tay, Zhao, and Muong, to name a few. These groups' rich civilizations date back dozens of thousands of years. The area has 11 administrative districts, and this week we'll be crossing 3 of them: Hoa Binh City, Kim Boi District, and Mao Choi District, all within an hour of each other.
So the first stop on our trip is the Hoa Binh power plant. Now, while a power plant might not be the most obvious place to visit, I was told if I was coming to Hoa Binh, I had to see the power plant. Now that I'm here, I understand why. It's an incredible feat, worked together by the Vietnamese and the Soviet Union. It took over 15 years to build, and when it was first in operation, it contributed 60% of the nation's electricity. Even now, it's the nation's largest power plant, contributing 30% of the nation's power. Come on, let's go have a closer look.
The Hoa Binh hydropower plant was built from 1979 to 1994 with help from the then Soviet Union. The power plant now has a capacity of 1,920 megawatts every year, and it produces an average of 8.4 billion kilowatts of electricity. Its contribution is considerable to the production of the whole country, a vital part of Vietnam's drive for modernization and development. Not only does the plant produce power, but it also helps prevent floods and ease natural disasters for the northern delta and the nation's capital. In the 10 years the project was underway, there were inevitable losses. The most tragic were the 168 people who died during construction. Of that group, 11 were Russian experts. I was told by my tour guide that the memorial was shaped like an electric turbine, with a roof similar to the roofs of houses of ethnic minorities, many of which were displaced for the project. Many local minorities were also employed in constructing the power plant. We headed to the top of the dam and were greeted with a breathtaking view of Hoa Binh City and the mountains that surround us. As I looked over the landscape, I could only think of how different it must have looked before this project came to be. And those 60,000 people who had to move. And of course those people who died for this massive step towards industrialization. At the top of the mountain, we found this massive statue of the late President Ho Chi Minh. This statue was built to represent a visit by Uncle Ho to the Da River back in 1962. He had traveled along the river to Hoa Binh on a bamboo raft, battling rough waters. At the time, the South was still occupied, and Uncle Ho had pointed to the river and said, "When this country is united, we will make use of this river." The massive 13.5-meter-high statue shows this image of him pointing to the river, forecasting the future of this land and these waters. Hoa Binh is home to several ethnic minority groups, with one of those groups being the Thai who live in Mai Chau, our next destination. The area is rather famous for its tourism, as the incredible natural beauty of the region and well-known hospitable people make it an attractive destination.
We are now in the beautiful valley of Mai Chau, and this is my favorite part of the trip. Now, while there